大家上午好。
Good morning.
14届全国人大3次会议
The
首
third
场
session
部
of
长
the
通道
14th
采访活动
NPC's
现在
first
开始。
Ministers'
大
Corridor
会新闻中心
begins.
今天邀请了4
Today
位
we
部
have
长接受
invited
大家的采访，
4
回应社会各界
representatives
的
to
关切。
take your
4位
questions.
部长分别是交
They
通
are
运输部刘伟部长、教育
Minister Liu
部
Wei of
怀进鹏部
Transport,
长、市场监管
Minister
总
Huai
局
Jingpeng of
罗文局长、
Education,
金融监管
Deputy
总局
General
李云泽局长。
Luo Wen
下
of
面
the State
我们有请
Administration
第一位
of
部长
Market
交
Regulation
通
and
运输部
also
刘伟部
Mr.
长。
Li Yunze from the NFRA. Now let's firstly invite Minister Liu Wei to take your questions.
大家上午好。
Good morning.
好，请大家提问。
Now we open the floor to questions.
好，请这个南区这位浅蓝色的女记者提问。
谢谢主持人。
Thank
中央
you.
广播电视总台
From
央视记者
CMG.
提问，刘部长您好。我们刚刚看到今年的政府工作报道
In
提
this
到，
year's government
要
work
加快
report,
建
it
设
mentioned that we must speed up
统
the
一开放的
development
交
of a
通
unified
运
and
输市
open
场，
transport
实施降低
market
全社会物
to
流成本
reduce the
的专项
logistics
行动。
cost
所以
of the
想
whole
请问您，
society.
交通运输部
So my
在
question
物流
is,
降
the
成本
Ministry
方
of
面都做了
Transport
哪些工
has
作？谢
taken
谢。
some measures in
谢谢
terms of
你的
reducing the
提问。
logistics cost and improve the
统一
transport
开放
efficiency.
的
So what are the
交通运
measures
输市场
taken? Such a
是全
unified and
国
open-ended
统一大
transport
市场的
market
重要
is a nationwide market.
党中央、国务
As a
院
part of it,
对此高度重视。
the CPC Central
去年
Committee
底，
has paid high
中办、
attention
国办
to this
专门
campaign.
印
By the
发了
end of last year,
关于加快建设
the Central
统一
Government
开
Office
放的
has
交通运输市
issued
场的意见。
an opinion on building such a
意
unified
见
and
主要
open
是
transport
深化
network
改
and
革
market. According to the opinion,
打破
we will take deepened
区域和
reform
行业壁垒，
measures to
促
break
进
the
多种
cross-regional
交
and
通运输方式
cross-sector
协
barriers,
同融合，
so more
促
transport
进完善
modes could be
公平
coordinated
公
and
正的
integrated,
市场环境，
thus creating
进一步
a
提
fair
升
and
综
equitable
合交通运
market
输效率，
and improving the overall efficiency of
高质量
transport,
发展提供支撑。
paving the way
为
for
了
high
落
quality
实这一
development.
意见，
To implement that
其
opinion,
中一个重要的举措
one of the
就
major
是降低
methods
全社会
is
物流
to
成本。
reduce logistics
大家知
cost of
道，
the whole
全
society.
社会物流成
As
本
is known to all,
主要有
the
3部分
overall
构成
cost of logistics
就是
is
包括
composed of 3 parts
运输成本
mainly, including
仓储成本
transport,
和
warehousing,
管理成本。
and management
其中
costs. Among the 3,
运输成本
transport
占到
takes the
55%
largest
以上
portion, standing at over 50% of the
为此
total.
啊，
To
我
that
们交
end,
通运输部
Ministry of
会同
Transport
国
works
家有关
together
部
with
委
relevant
共同
government
研究
departments
制
and
定了
ministries to
交通物
compile
流降本提质增效
cost reduction
行
and
动计划
efficiency improvement plan
铁路
for the
公
transport
路
and
水运
logistics
民航
involving
邮政
railway,
5个领域的
highway,
实施方案
road, civil
经过
services,
1年多的努力，
and others.
应该说取得了
After
阶段性
1
成
year's
效
efforts, we have made
2024年
some initial
全国
achievements
全
in
社会物
2024.
流成本
The
总
overall
共降低了大约
logistics
4000
cost
亿，
has been reduced by
交通成
4
本降低了
40 million,
2800
sorry, 400 billion,
占到2%左右。
280 billion
在工
were
作推进
reduced
中，
from the transport
我
sector.
们重点突出了
And in our
调节度
work, we
长
prioritized
枢纽
restructuring,
粗联运
strengthening the
这3
hubs,
个方面。
and smoothing
首先
the
是
network
调节度，
of
就
transport.
是调
First
整
of all, we
运输
take
结构。
restructuring measures, which means we
大家知道，
restructured
在
the
多种
transport
运
network.
输方式中，
As you know,
水
among
运、
different modes of
铁路
transport, waterways,
具有
railway
运能大、
have
成本
bigger
低、
capacity of
污染
transport
小
with
的
lower
特点。
cost and less pollution.
从运价来看，
Speaking
水
of
运的
the
运价是最低
price
的，
of transport,
铁路是
waterway is the least
公路
costly, and then
相对较高。
railway and road.
所以啊，我们从
So,
2017年开始，
Since 2017, we have taken aggressive steps
和集装
to
箱
encourage
中长
the
距离
heavy
运输的
freight and
公专铁
containers
公专
transport to
到去年
turn
呀，
from roads to
铁路
railway. by
运周
last
转
year,
量
the
增
railway
长超过
freight
30%，
turnover increased by
水运
over
货
30%.
物周转量
Waterway
增
freight
长超过了
turnover
40%。
increased by over
第二
40%.
就是强枢纽，
Second,
就是强化
we strengthen the development of
枢纽
transport
功能。
hubs by
在国
enhancing
家
the
综合历史交通
functionalities
网
of
规
the
划
hubs. According to
在
the national
全国
plan of our
规划
comprehensive
布局了
transport network,
20个
there are
国际性综
20
合交通枢纽
international comprehensive
和
transport
80个
hubs
全国性
and
综合
80
交通。
national level comprehensive transport hubs.
这2年，
In the past 2
我们
years,
大力实施国家
we
货运枢纽
have
强链补链工程，
implemented some
支
projects
持了
in the
37个
freight
城市，
transport
实施
hubs,
了500多个项目，
supporting 37
集中
cities
打
and
造一批
500 projects.
高水平的
Together,
综合交通
we
枢纽，
aim to create a
带动提
batch
升
of high-level
综合
comprehensive
交通
transport
运输
hubs.
效率。
And then we hope to have some
第三
spillover
就是
effect to
我们
improve the
促
comprehensive
联运，
efficiency of
就
transport.
是大力
Third,
发展
connected
多式联运。
transport
我们依托综合交通
across
枢纽，
cities.
大力
By
推动
relying on the
贴水
transport
联运
hubs, we hope to
公铁
connect
联运
railway with
和
waterways,
空铁联运
connect
空
roads
铁联运
with
就是航空
railways,
和
and also airways with railways.
应该说，我们这些年，特别是贴
Over
水
the
联运
years,
上，
especially
增效明
between
已经
the
多年
railways and waterways, we
年
have made stark
贴
achievements
水联
every
运
year
货物量
between waterways and
保持
railways.
年增速
The
在
freight
15%
transport
以上
volume increased by over 15% annually.
通过这些举措呀，我
Thanks to
们
these
对
measures,
多式联运上重点突破了一
we
单
have
制
made some
一箱
breakthroughs
制的制度性障碍，制定出台
to
了一批
break
标准，
such barriers
实行全过程
institutionally.
的
We also
电子
come
运
up
转
with a
取得了
series of
比较好的效果。
standards with very good
总之啊，
effects.
我们将按照这次政府工作报告
Anyway,
的部署要求，
we will
抓
conform
紧
to the
落
requirements
实
of
各
the
项举
government
措
work report to further
今年努力啊，
detailize our implementation
在推
measures,
进统一开
with
放
joint
的交通运
efforts,
输市场上，
while for the
在
deepening reform
推进
of
交
the
通物
transport
流
market,
及降本提质
we
增
will
效上
continue to
迈
reduce
出
the
更大步伐，
logistics cost
取
and
得
improve the
更大
efficiency
成效。
and make bigger achievements.
好，请
Thank
继
you.
续提问。
Next
请
question, please.
北区靠中间那位穿黑色上衣的女记者。
谢谢主持人。河南日报社大河
Thank
报
you.
记
I'm
者
with
提问。
Henan People's Daily
当
and
前我
Dahe
们正
News.
在加速建
At
设
present,
交通强
China
国，
is
人民群
accelerating
众
the
对交
construction
通
of
运
a
输服务
strong
保障能力的
transportation
期待
power.
也越来越高。
People
能
are
否
having
请
even
介绍
greater
一下相关工作
aspiration
的进
for
展情况？谢
transport
谢。
and transportation. And can you elaborate on the efforts made from the Ministry of Transport?
是习
Thank
近
you
平
for your
总书
question.
记
Building a strong transport power is an initiative personally planned and promoted and proposed by
党的
General
19大
Secretary
报
Xi
告
Jinping.
首次提
The
出，
report
建设交
he
通
delivered to the 19th National
党的
Congress of the
20大报告
CPC first proposed
强
such
调
concept,
要加
and
快
the
建设，
report that the
交通政策。
20th National Congress of the
这
CPC
为新时代
outlined
交
the
通
goal
运
to
输高质
strengthen
量
the
发展
construction of
指
building
明了方向。
construction of a strong transport power.
在
This
2019
pointed
年
the
的
way
10月，
of our
党
efforts
中央国务
in
院
October
印发
2019,
实施
the
了
State Council and
交
CPC
通
Central
强
Committee
国建设纲要，
circulated the
明确提出
outline
要
for
构建现代化
outline of the
综合
plan
交
for
通
building
体系
a strong
打造
nation
一流
in
设施、
transport,
一流技术、
involving building the
一流
first
管
class
理、一流服务、
infrastructure, technology,
建
management
成
and services,
人民满意、
so as
保
to
障有力、
deliver
世界
a
前
transport
列的。
system that is satisfied by the people with strong
在这里啊，
guarantees and with
我简要地
world-class standard. And let
对
me
打造4个
briefly
一流
elaborate
工作进
on
展做个
this
简单
for
介绍。
requirements.
在一流设施
In
方面
terms，of
我国
first-class
已经建成了
infrastructure, China has
全球
already
最大的
built the
高速铁
world's
路
largest
高速公
high-speed
路网、
railway network, highway
邮政快
network,
递网
the post network,
和世界级港口区。
and a world-class cluster of ports. among which the high-speed railway millage reached 4.8 trillion kilometers. The highway millage in China reached a total of 19 trillion kilometers, both ranking first globally. At present, the comprehensive transport network in China has exceeded 6 million kilometers. And we have a network featuring 6 horizontal lines and 7 vertical lines. And this major transport infrastructure laid a solid foundation for Chinese modernization. In terms of first-class technology, everybody is aware that the Chinese high-speed railway, Chinese highway and Chinese bridges, and Chinese ports, and Chinese express and postal network have become shining business cards of China. And let me share with you some examples in terms of the technology of high-speed railway in China. The Beijing to Zhangjiakou high-speed railway is the world's first high-speed railway with a speed of 350 kilometers per hour. It's also the world's first smart high-speed railway line. In terms of Chinese bridge, the Hong Kong-Macau-Zhuhai Bridge is the world's longest sea bridge. The Shenrong Express line, which was put operational last year, is the largest and most sophisticated sea bridge in the world. Its completion has fundamentally shifted the transportation network in the Pearl River Delta. In terms of Chinese ports, in building smart ports, the autonomous ports now feature independent technologies. Both in terms of quantity and scale, we are ranking on top of the world. And regarding top-notch management, we have laws and regulations and standard systems that are very complete. Transport and transportation now have a modernized management system. And right now, we are carefully following through the plans made at the third plenary session of the Chinese National Congress of the CPC. We are deepening reform of China's transport system, which involves railway, highway, waterway, civil aviation, and postal network. We are accelerating the construction of first-class highways and roads in the countryside, and the total millage has exceeded 4.6 million kilometers. And this has provided strong foundation for the rural revitalization project. In terms of delivering first-class services, China has already become the busiest country in terms of flow of passengers and logistics. And let me share with you a set of data. In terms of marine transportation, the total fleet scale of Chinese vessels and ships and the total throughput of Chinese sea transportation are both ranking on top of the world, and we are beyond any doubt the top marine power. And you have heard that on the 6th day of the first lunar month during the Spring Festival, total passenger flow exceeded 339 million passenger times, which is a record high. Last year, at the busiest day, there were 70 million vehicles running on Chinese highways. And in terms of delivery
快递啊，
services,
我们在去年的10月22号，
on October 22nd last
揽
year,
收量
the daily handling of packages
7.21
reached
亿件，也就是说，
729
相 当
million
于我们全国人民每
packages.
2
And
人
that is to say, out of every 2 Chinese, there is 1
应该说，
package
正是
delivered.
我们始终铆定
Over
4个一
the
流
past
的
few years, and
高
we
质量
have
发展方向。
been laser
我国
focused on
交通
building
运输服务
this
保障能力
for
得到明显提升，
world-class
人民群众的
transports,
获得感、
and
幸福感。
we have delivered more satisfaction to
刚
the
刚
general
过去
public.
的为期40天的春运，
The
我们
40-day
全社
Spring
会大区人
Festival
员流动量
travel
达
spree,
到了
which was
90
just
点，
concluded, saw
比去
a
年同期
total
增长
of
了
9.2 billion passenger times, which is a record high in
我
our
们高
history.
速公路
Meanwhile,
路段的数量明显下
the
降，
number of congested highway
全国没有
sections
出现
has dropped significantly,
大范围
and there were not
人员和车辆的
any
质量现象，
large-scale and
充分
long-term
展现了
transportation
流动中国的
congestion on the
脉活力。
highway, and this is
谢谢。
showing the great vitality of a
下
China
面有请
that
第二位
is
部长，
smooth.
教育部怀敬鹏部
Now
长
let's give the floor to Minister Huai Jingpeng of Education.
请大家提问。
Now we open the floor to questions.
这南区这位黑色西装的男记者提问。
好，谢谢主持人。
Thank you.
怀部长好，新华社记者
Good
提问。
morning,
我的问题是
Minister
关
Huai
于人
from
才培
Xinhua
养
News
的。
Agency. My
最近一段
question
时
is
间，
about talent
深度搜索、
cultivation.
deepseek、智能
Recently,
机器人等引起了
DeepSeek
广泛的
and
关注。
other
那当前新
robotics
技术、
have
新
caught
产业、
wide
新
attention.
业
New
态、新模式
technologies,
不断涌
industries,
现。
and modes
对
of
相关人才的
businesses
需
are
求也
emerging,
越来越迫
calling
切。
for
那请问
higher
教育
number
部
of
将采取
talents.
哪些措施
So
来
what
培
will
养
be the
更
measures
多
taken
服
by
务国
Ministry of
家战略、
Education
科技
to
进步与
provide
产
more
业需求的人
talents
才？
to
谢谢。
serve the technological advancement and national strategies? Thank you for the question.
DeepSeek 和机器人
DeepSeek
在
and
最近一段时间
robots
引起国内
recently
外的广泛
have
关注，
drawn wide
我想它
attention
从一
from
个
China
方
and
面
abroad.
也说明了中国科
One
技
way or
创新
another,
和人
this
才培
case
养的效果
shows that talent
但与此
cultivation
同
and
时，
technological
它也向我
innovation
们提
have
出了
gone
面对
somewhere. Meanwhile,
重大科技
it
变化
also
和产业变
raised
革，
the
我
question
们的
of
教育
responding
如何应对？
to major
历史上
industrial
每一次重
restructuring
大科技革命和
and
产业变化
technological revolution.
都对社
In
会提
history,
出了特别重要
every
的需求，
industrial
尤其是对教育。
revolution will
所以它也
have
是教育改
higher
革和发
demand
展的
from the society,
重大机遇。
especially education. So it
习
will
近
be a
平
good
总书记
opportunity
在去
for
年全
the
国教育
reform
大
of
会上就
education.
强调，
Last year, on the National
面向
Education
科技发
Conference,
展
President Xi
和
stressed that in
国家战略
response
需
to
求，
technological
提
development
高
of
创
national
新能力，
strategic
优
demand,
化高等
we
教育布
must
局，
improve our
调整
innovative capacity
学
and
科
restructure our
配置
educational
和人才
landscape
培养模式。
to
刚
optimize
才总理
the
在政府工作报
educational
告当
resource
中
allocation
特别提到这一
and
点。
mode of
教育
cultivation,
部
as has been
将
mentioned
会
again
以
by
制
the
定和
government
实
work
施
report.
教育强国
Ministry
3
of
年行
Education
动计
will
划纲要，
implement the
为我们
outline of the
的
plan
基
for
本出
building
发
a
点，
strong nation in
推动
education.
高等教育综合改革。
We will
主要方
reform the
面呢
higher learning
3点考虑。
education with
第
three
一就是在制
considerations.
度和机
First,
制上来推
in
动
terms
创
of
新。
institutional design, we will
在
pursue
当前科技
innovation.
发展和产业
Right
变革
now,
中，
with industrial transformation and technological advancement, we will step up the integration of industry
科教委员
with
会
education
协同相关
and
部委
technology
和行
development.
业，
Together with
共
other
同建立
ministries
一
and
个
sectors, we
有利
will
于人才
jointly
成长
build
和创新发展
a
相融合
favorable
的生态
environment
和主
for
体机制。
industrial development
同时，我
and
们会
technological
在这个领
advancement.
域当中，围绕着
Also,
产业的变
in
革，
terms of that
加快
ecosystem
和加
building,
强我们
we will
健康
also
的
align ourselves
在这领域当
with
中，
the
我们现在
technological
以
revolution
产教融
when
合
we
为基础，
design our
推动
curriculums.
卓越工程师
On the
实验
basis
建
of
设。
industrial
目前已
and
经建立了
educational
40
integration,
家
we
国
will
家卓越
build
工程师，
more
我们
excellent
将会进一步扩大
engineering institutions. There are 40 newly added ones right now. And we will step up our cooperation with industries. We have invited 2,000 corporate engineers to work together with the educational circle to cultivate talents together, to practice on over 5,000 topics of research. So those measures will help us to cultivate more talents, and especially the talents who can contribute to the integration of industrial innovation and educational innovation. Meanwhile, in terms of institutional design, we will also have more integrated measures. Especially, we will deepen reform of categorization of universities by considering the special features of the universities and the regional economic and social development and national needs. With that, we will effectively optimize the landscape of educational institutions. We will aggressively improve the evaluation system to better guide the talent's direction to echo the call of the national needs. Secondly, this year, we will come up with national strategies and campaigns to better serve national strategies and industrial development. First of all, for the basic disciplines, scientific technologies have their own formula and rules. We should cultivate the talents based on the formulas and rules. So we will strengthen the basics and continue to cultivate more talents of basic disciplines, for example, math and computer science, which are urgently needed by national strategies. We will certainly come up with some core curriculums and textbooks on top of that. The second campaign is to come up with some new key curriculums to echo the call of national strategies, especially those cross-disciplinary curriculums, in order to conform to the rules of the Industrial Revolution, for example, new energy, new materials, and AI. We will speed up the pace of our layout. Third, we will optimize the available curriculums and properly add more new curriculums. This will help to better optimize the talents provision every year. We will take steady measures to expand the bachelor degree supply in the double first-class universities. As you know, the occupational education has made huge contribution to manufacturing industry in China. 70% of the talents in that area comes from the occupational education sector. So it did make huge contributions to talent provision and national development. So that's another campaign. Third, we will have some pilot projects to have some demonstration effect, to give play to the localities and universities with a better innovative drive. And also, we will also fill in the loophole. We will set up more of such pilots. Second, to serve the national strategies and regional development, regional innovation and national economic and social development will be combined. For any country, higher learning institutions are treasurable resources. So in the universities, the knowledge-intensive innovation and the technology capacity should be better pooled to serve national strategies. In the building of regional computing center and the first-class discipline development will be taken into consideration. In the meantime, AI, biotechnology will be integrated to adapt to national strategies and technological development. With the institutional innovation and disciplinary development across different stages of education like bachelor and master degrees, we will stay tuned to the supply and demand situation to better adapt to national needs. And we will also keep pace with industrial development. As you know, technological development has been deepened, triggering some new issues. So we must keep pace with the times to serve the national strategy of building China into a strong powerhouse of education. And also, we must open up to the international educational sector. So the technological innovation and the talent cultivation contributions could better serve the national call of building China into a powerhouse of
好，
education.
请
Thank
继
you.
续提问。好，请那个北区那位穿白色上衣的女记者提问。
Next question, please.
谢谢主持人，我是中国
Thank
教育
you.
电
I'm
视台的
with
记者。
China
部长您
Education
好，我们都
TV.
知道，基础教育关系着千
We
家
know
万
that
户，
basic
老百姓都
education
非常的关
concerns
心。
the
所以
interests
想
of
请问您
millions
教
of
育部今
residents
年
and
在这方
households.
面
So my
有没有
question
什
is,
么重要
what
的
are
举
the
措？另外
specific
呢，对于
measures
落实
planned
政
for
府工
this
作报
year
告当中
from
的
the
相关
Ministry
要
of
求，又有
Education?
着怎样的考
What are
虑？
your
谢谢。
plans regarding implementing the requirement of the government work report? Thank you for your question. Yes, indeed, basic education concerns millions of households in China, and let me give you a set of data. In China, we have 500,000 schools, and which involves 230 million students. So how do we succeed with basic education? We need to understand where we are right now. For preschool education, now we have a recruitment rate of 95%, and for compulsory education, the acceptance rate is 97%, and this is comparable even at a global scale. And we are a large developing country, and we are a major power in education. And then for high school education, we have reached the level of medium and high-income countries in the world. According to the data in 2021, and we have over 2,800 counties, and compulsory education is made equally available in all those counties. 85% of the children of migrant workers in cities, they can attend a public school with quality compulsory education. So this is the basic situation we have in basic education. General Secretary Xi attaches great importance to basic education, and that is why in the government work report, Premier Li Qiang outlined the plan of this State Council in education. We need to step up resources for education. With demographic changes and the evolution of urbanization, we will integrate counties and cities in terms of popularizing education. And we will also put in place a dynamic adjustment system so as to keep pace with the demographic changes. And high school at the county is a hot topic. 60% of the high school students, they are attending a high school at their county. So how do we succeed with high school at the county level? So we have a rejuvenation plan for the high schools at education, which involves optimizing the teams of teachers and improving teaching resources so that high schools at the county level can better serve the students at the township and county level. This will constitute as part of the basic education network. Meanwhile, we're going to step up our efforts in delivering high quality and equal services in education. We need to build a standard and also make the best use of our resources so as to deliver more boarding schools and improve the boarding environment and the teaching quality of boarding schools. This will involve capacity building and middle schools bordering in between counties and cities. They will play a crucial role in comprehensively improving the quality of education. So changes of technology and social structure will have some implications over education. For education to flourish in the future, we have to grasp this opportunity. On the other hand, we will strengthen our efforts in distributing high-quality education. The education of quality, the quality of education that we provide to the children of migrant workers will be further strengthened. This involves reinforcing the teachers' team and enhancing exchanges of headmasters between different regions, involving both headmasters of primary schools and middle schools, and this will be a key part of our initiative in this year. Thirdly, we plan to intensify our efforts against some key issues. For example, in digital education, and we will roll out a national platform. AI will be integrated with education. This year, we are going to publish a AI-powered education white paper, and this will facilitate the training of AI and digital qualifications of our children and students. In the meantime, we are going to improve the qualification of teachers. All this will lay the groundwork for equal distribution of high quality educations. And the new semester has just begun, and you have noticed that right now we have 15 minutes of class intervals in Beijing and in Anhui and in other 20 provinces and cities. And now the 15 minutes class interval is a practice that we have popularized across the nation. This will, I believe, lay a solid foundation for the healthy growth of our kids. Also, in the government work report this morning, Premier Li Qiang said that we are going to explore a free preschool education and compulsory education. And to this end, important policies will be introduced to strengthen free-of-charge compulsory education and expand free-of-charge preschool education, so that education will be made easily accessible and available. And this will require greater efforts in boosting the teachers' qualifications for the preschool period. You should also know that on June the 1st, the law of the People's Republic of China on preschool education will be enacted, and this will further empower our efforts for children aged between 2 and 3. They will be a focus of our efforts. Child raising and education will be coordinated and integrated so as to provide more tangible benefits to the public, and this will prepare the Chinese population for the future. In the government work report, it was mentioned that we have an advantage in terms of systems, and we have the enormous market scale and a complete industrial system. We also have a huge pool of resources for talents. This is the most important asset of the country. So as the Ministry of Education, we will grasp the opportunity of educational reforms and do a great job in basic education, as this is a job concerning the interest of millions of households across China, and this is also an important mandate entrusted upon us by the General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, and I believe we will make even greater contribution to basic education.
Thank you, Minister Huai. Now let's invite the third representative, Director General Luo Wen from State Administration of Market Regulation. Now we open the floor to questions.
谢谢主持人。人民日报记者
Thank
提
you
问。
from People's
罗局长
Daily.
您好，我们注意到近年来我国平台
Good
经济
morning,
快速
Mr.
发
Wu.
展，
Recently,
但也出现了一
platform
些不容
economy
忽
has
视的
been
问题，
developing
比如
fast
说
with
平台规则不
some
公平、收
emerging
费不合
problems.
理、
For
算法
example,
不透明、直播
unfairness,
电商乱
lack
象
of
频出等。
transparency
那么
of
请问下一步
algorithms,
在这个方
and
面，
some
市场监管总局
disorderly
会采取哪
phenomenon
些措施？
in the
谢谢。
live streaming. So what will be the measures taken by the SAMR to tackle the problems?
也是大家现在
The problems you
比较
just
关心的问题。
raised are the common
一直以
concerns.
来，党中央
For
工
long,
业
the CPC Central
高度重视
Committee and the State
平台经济
Council
发
put
展。
high premium on the
市场监管
development
总
of
局
platform
坚
economy.
决落实
SAMR
党中央工业
decisively
决策部署，
implement the decisions
坚
and
持
plans of the
监管
CPC
规
Central
范
Committee and the
和促
State
进发展
Council.
并重，
So regulation
大
and
力支持
development promotion
平台企
are
业
equally important.
在
We will
引领发展
aggressively support
创
the
造就
platform
业
enterprises to
国际
play
竞
their
争中
role in
大显
leading
身
the
手。
development,
去
creating
年
job
我们
opportunities,
总
and
局
competing in the
联合多
international
个部门
arena. Last
开
year,
展
together with
网
other
络市场监管
departments,
促
we
发展
introduced
保安全专项行动，
dedicated
持续优
campaigns to
化
promote
平
development.
台经济竞
We
争生
keep
态，
optimizing the ecosystem
持续优化
of
平台经
competition
济竞
on
争生态，
the
同时
platforms.
大力
At the
支
same
持
time,
平台企业
we
在国
support
际竞争中
the enterprises on the
展现身
platform
手。
to play
今年
their role
我们
in
将
the international arena.
着力优
This
化
year, we will take efforts to
今年我们将着力
optimize
优化监管方式方法，大
the
力促进
measures
平台
of
经济
regulation
健康
so
发展。
that the
重
platform
点采
economy
取
could have
以
sound
下具体
development.
举措，
There will be the following
主要是有
measures
4
to
个
be
方面。
taken. They are
在平台规则
four-pronged.
方面，
First, in
我们
terms
将
of
坚
rules
持
and
以
regulations,
公开
we will
公平
commit
为原
ourselves
则，
to the principle of
促进
fairness
平台
and
各方主
openness,
体
facilitating different players on the
针对
platform to
平台
have
滥用
mutual benefits
仅
and
推广
win-win
规则
results. We
造
will
成商
avoid
户
any
货款两空
abuse
的
of the rules
突
of
出
the
问题。
platform
我
economy.
们将督促
We
平
will
台
urge the
明确
platforms
规则的适用范围
to
和
clarify
具体情
the
形，
scope
保障
of
商户
application of the rules
正
and
当权益。
regulations to protect the
针对
legitimate
平台
rights and
实
interests
施
of
自动
the
跟价
businesses on the
全网
platforms.
最低价
And
规则，
the
造成
platforms will be
内
urged
卷
to
式竞争
follow
的
the
突出
minimum
问题。
price
我们
in the
将
platform
督
to
促平台
avoid
规
the
范
rat race on the
促销行为，
platform. We will also urge them to regulate
保障
their
商
promotion
户自主
behaviors
经营权。
and
针
protect
对
the
监管制度建
businesses'
设之后的，
independent
我
operational
们将制定
rights.
出台网络交易
And
平台
we will
规则
also
监
compile
管办
certain
法，
rules and measures to
保障
regulate
平台
the
各方主体
internet
合
transactions
法权益。
to ensure that the
在平
legitimate
台
rights and
收费
interests
方
of
面，
all players on the
我们
platform
将
will
坚持以
be
合理
protected.
透明
As to pricing
为目
and
标，
charges,
着
we
力
will
降
adhere
低
to the
中
principles
小商
of
户负担。
transparency and proper
大家知道，
charge to reduce the
当前
burden on the
平台
medium
类
and
商户
small-sized
普遍反映，
businesses on the platform.
由
According to
于
the
名目繁
businesses,
多，计
due
算
to
方法
the
复
large
杂，
number
平台
of
收费不透明，
charges,
加上
categories,
平台
and
营销推广费用
complicated
上涨快等因素，
algorithms,
这
as
些
well
都
as the rapid
加重了
increase
商
of
户
the
的成本
fees
负担。
charged on the platform. They are
针对
under
上述
huge
问题，
pressure.
我们将督促
Targeting
平
at
台
those issues, we will urge the
简化并公
platforms
示
to
收费
simplify
项目，
and to
优化
publicize
定价机制，
the items
保
of
障商户
charges and
知情权，
optimize the pricing
帮
mechanism
助
to
商户
ensure
降补增
the
效。
rights of knowledge
与此
by
同时，
the
我
businesses.
们将制定出台
Meanwhile,
网络
we
交易平
will
台
introduce
收
an
费行为
internet
合
transaction
规指南，
platform
为平台企业
charging
合理收费
standardization
明确指引。
guideline to offer some guidance
在直
for
播
the
电商方
charges
面，
on the platform.
我们
As
将
to
坚持
live
以
streaming,
规范市场
e-commerce
秩序
platform,
为重点，
we will
切实保
prioritize
障
regulating the
消费
market
者
rules
合法
and
权益。
order to protect the
近
consumers'
些年
rights
来
and，interests.
大家都知道，
Over the years,
我国直播电商行业发
the
展
live
迅速，
shows are developing
在
very
方便
fast
消
in
费者
China,
购物的同时，
while providing convenience for the consumers to buy products.
鱼龙混杂的问题。
We also have a
突出的问
mixture
题就是
of
部分主播
quality
恶意
levels.
炒作，
For example, there may be some hype
带来
from
了
the anchors
假
of
冒伪劣
the
产品现象，
broadcast, and there are
比较
also
突出。
some counterfeit
对
products.
此，消费者反应强烈，也
The consumers
十分突
complained
出。
heavily about these problems.
针对上述问题，我们将
Targeting
压
at
实
those
平
problems,
台的审核责任，
we will hold
加
the
强
platforms accountable for review and supervision. We will have some spot checks of the products and a crackdown upon the advertisements of hyping to safeguard the fair competition environment and improve the quality of the products sold in the live shows. Also, we have introduced a supervision method for the live shows and effectively regulate and standardize the behaviors and conduct of live streaming. We will also make sure that our algorithms are working for the good, and we will protect the new job opportunities and the legitimate rights of the laborers. According to the feedback from the consumers, there are usually three major problems of the platform enterprises. The first one is the lack of transparency of algorithms, and second, the big data killers, and third, the lack of credibility. The consumers believe that their rights have been infringed by the problems. And we will work together with relevant departments to have comprehensive governance of the platforms, urging the corporates to improve transparency of their algorithms, optimizing the rules and formula of their algorithms to ensure that the laborers' legitimate rights could be protected. Thank you.
好，请继续提问。好，请那个北区靠挨着那个外国记者的那个穿黑色上衣的男记者提问。
Next question, please.
谢谢主持人，罗局长您好。中国市场监管报记者提问，请问对于规范社企执法，其中整治乱收费、乱罚款、乱检查、乱查封问题，市场监管总局计划采取哪些具体的措施？谢谢。
Repeated inspections and checks. Thank you for your question, and this is a very targeted question. As is known that the State Council and CPC Central Committee attach great importance to grassroots level law enforcement. Long ago, the General Office of the State Council introduced a policy document fighting against illegal inspections. Last year, the State Administration for Market Regulation launched a special campaign which identified a total of 3,042 cases of illegal charging. A total of 134 million yuan were refunded to those merchants, and in this year we're going to redouble our efforts in this regard. For illegal charging and fining, we will solve the issue at the bottom. We will focus on scrutinizing the behavior of government organs and online platforms. On the other hand, we will set up the inspection sites against illegal fining, so that those behaviors are checked at the early stage. On the other hand, we will set up compliance checks so that the management can be ensured from the source level. Additionally, management methods will be rolled out against illegal fining. Specifically, we are going to improve the algorithms and put in place systems to check against unjustified fines. And for small violations with big fines, we will be laser focused against such behaviors so that our law enforcement behaviors and activities can bring warmth to the general public. And for behaviors from the government that undermines the interest of the society and hurts the interest of the general public, we will crack down on these behaviors. Our efforts must also focus on delivering warrants in our law enforcement behaviors. And for the first violation, there will be no fines, and for minor violations, there will be only an insignificant amount of fines. And we have identified 4 groups of cases that are subject to this system. This year, we're going to further expand the list so as to fight against the cases of small violation with significant fines. Additionally, we will carry out some online inspections to rectify some wrongdoings, and for violations that have no relation with that have nothing to do with safety or security. In principle, there will be no physical inspections. For merchants with a good credit record, there will be less and weaker inspections. At the same time, we're going to share data, put in place early warning and other smart regulatory methods so as to minimize the amount of physical checks and inspections. For wrongdoings in law enforcement, we are going to strengthen we're going to rectify our behaviors and enforce the law in accordance with the law. We're going to specify the time duration and frame for law enforcement. From the source, we are going to avoid unjustified fines and wrongdoings in law enforcement behaviors. In terms of procedures, we will carefully follow through the auditing procedures and mandates unless otherwise approved by law enforcement authorities. We will not close any merchants or shops. Meanwhile, we're going to put in place an accountability system against unjustified fines, and for merchants that are wrongly closed, there will be accountability rest upon those who made this executive order.
谢谢罗局长。
Thank you for your question.
下面有请第4位部长，金融监管总局李云泽局长。
Let's invite Director General Li Yunze from NFRA.
好，请大家提问。
Now we open the floor to
好，请
questions.
南区这位穿米色上衣的女记者提问。
谢谢主持人。羊城晚报记者提问：李局长您好。2024年，我国经济社会运行稳的态势巩固延续，进的步伐坚实有力。这些在金融领域有哪些具体的体现？另外，去年金融监管总局牵头建立了房地产和小微企业2项融资协调机制，取得了明显成效。请问今年将如何推进？谢谢。
So, how will them be implemented this year? Thank you for the questions. First of all, I would love to take this opportunity to thank our media friends for their long-term support of financial regulation. Just now, Premier Li Qiang delivered the government work report showcasing our confidence to rise up to the challenges and to forge ahead with firm decision in order to pursue high-quality development. We were invigorated by his words, and last year, it was the first complete year for NFRA to perform our duties. We dissolve risks, strengthen regulation, and facilitate development. Steady progress has been made. In terms of steadiness, there are 3 phenomenon. The first one is about the steady operation of the financial sector. The main indexes are within healthy scope. The capital adequacy ratio of the banks increased to 16%. The insurance repayment ratio increased by 200%, and non-performing loans was lowered to 1.5%. Second, financial risks have been lowered. The SMEs among the banks have been dealing with their available risks. And the additional risks have been curbed effectively, especially last year for the non-performing assets. We have taken aggressive efforts. In the whole year, we tackled 3.8 trillion non-performing assets, breaking the historical record, safeguarding our financial sector with no major financial risks occurring. Third, steady progress in terms of systemic reform. Under the leadership of the CPC Central Committee, the central and local sectors have been working together. And as to the progress that we made, there are three proofs. The first one is the capital supply has increased in volume. Last year, the banks and insurance has another 30 trillion RMB yuan of allocation. The newly added loans interest rate has been lowered by 0.6 percentage points year on year. So we have a smooth financial market. Second, financial services have higher efficiency and quality. Technologies, industry, and advanced manufacturing industries, loans increase is above the average level. For green finance and inclusive finance, we are also leading the way in the world. As to repayment of the insurance, it increased by almost 20% year on year. Third, industrial governance has been improved with a well-developed capital addition mechanism. The new 10 articles for the insurance sector has been published and implemented, and the asset management entities' capacity of management has been improved. Financial openness has come up to a higher level. The two financing mechanisms our reporter has mentioned was the result of our cooperation with the MOHARD and the NDRC. We work on both the supply and demand ends to solve the problems of difficult financing for enterprises, to encourage the steady development of the real estate market, and to solve the financing problem of SMEs. Those two mechanisms will offer some support. In the future, according to the requirements of the government work report, we will work on the following. As to real estate market, we will center on the cities and projects, because in practices, the well-performing enterprises may have some poor projects. And by centering on the projects, we will prepare a wide list to have targeted and efficient financing arrangement, thus truly protecting the rights of the buyers in the real estate market. The financing mechanism has approved 6 trillion RMB of loans, and the already accepted houses exceeded 15 million sets. This year, we will work on the following two measures. First, stabilize the real estate market. The financing mechanism will be scaled up with a longer wide list so that more eligible projects could apply for a loan in order to ensure the final acceptance and delivery of the houses. Second, encourage transformation. We will come up with the supplementary financing mechanisms to facilitate the real estate market to have long-term healthy development. As to the support of SMEs, last year we guided the counties to set up their panels to have wide-range investigation in order to solve the pain points of financing. Since October last year, such dedicated panels have visited over 15 million households with a credit of over 10 trillion RMB, reaching out to the grassroots with convenient channels and proper interest rate. Now, private enterprises account for over 92% of the total, and their proportion among SMEs is only higher. So it is fair to say that to support SMEs is actually supporting the private sector. In the future, we will stringently execute on President Xi Jinping's remarks on the occasion of private sector seminar. We will take aggressive efforts to solve the financing problems of the private sector and SMEs. We will take two measures to encourage the coordination mechanism to play its role. First, we will increase the credit so the mechanism could benefit more private enterprises. All those in need of credit could be extended the credit. And also we will reduce the bureaucracies and the intermediaries to reduce the overall financing cost, so the private enterprises could enjoy more benefits. Thank you.
请继续提问，请北区那位穿粉色上衣的女记者提问。
Next question, please.
好的，谢谢主持人。我是香港大
Thank
公
you.
文汇传
I'm
媒集
with
团大
Hong
公报
Kong
香港文汇
Dagong
报和全媒体的
newspaper
记者
and 文汇
李局长您
newspaper.
好。我们注意到今年的政府工作报告当
We
中
have
呢，把
noted
提振
that
消
in
费
the
和科技
government
创
work
新摆
report,
在了
it
更
was
加突出
mentioned
的位置。
to
那么
boost
提出了
domestic
实施提振
demand
消费
and
专项
fintech
行动，
innovation.
推动科技
There
创
is
新
a
和产
special
业创新
campaign
融合发展的
aimed
重点
at
任务。
boosting
那么想
domestic
请问金融监管
consumption
总
and
局下
enhancing
一步将
fintech
会在这些方面
innovation.
有哪些举
What
措？
are
谢谢
the。measures planned at the National Financial Regulation Administration in this regard? Thank you for your question. As China's economy steps on a new track and phase, boosting domestic demand has become a key task, and fintech innovation is a driving force of high-quality development. We will follow through the requirement of the government work report and enhance our efforts in these two regards. First, in terms of domestic demand, in the government work report, Premier Li Qiang reiterated that we need to channel more funding support to domestic demand, and we will optimize the distribution of financial resources, taking into consideration not just physical-related matters, but also human-related factors. We will comprehensively boost the domestic demand so as to deliver more satisfaction to the general public. And we have three main plans. The first is to provide even richer financial products. For example, in the fields of green and digital and smart consumption scenarios, we encourage financial institutions to customize their products to better meet the customized and diversified financial needs of the market. For long-term and large-sum consumption needs, we will enhance the credit loan and quota and extend the duration of credit. Second, provide more convenient financial services and constantly enhance and empower the financial consumption through digital means so as to constantly bring more innovations. In the meantime, we are going to make it easier for the elderly, for foreign visitors to solve their financial needs. For insurance-related efforts, at the beginning of this year, we have rolled out new auto insurance products. So for those who are willing to purchase the insurance, then they will get one. And three, build a more relaxed consumption environment, and we will encourage financial services to be better aligned to the needs of consumption so as to unleash more consumption potential. We have recently launched a financial consumer products inquiry platform, and you're more than welcome to check out online. Additionally, we will crack down on illegal financial behaviors so as to safeguard the interest of the general public. And then with regards to new quality productive forces, we have to be mindful that China's financing regime is dependent upon financial institutions. So we encourage those institutions to make small but long-term stable investments. We need to focus on 4 pilot programs and steadily scale up those pilot programs. The first pilot program is equity investment of financial institutions. Last year, we expanded the pilots to 18 cities which has been very fruitful. A total of 350 billion yuan RMB was signed, and we are going to further expand the pilot zone so as to allow the participation of more financial institutions. Number two, regarding the long-term reform of insurance institutions, we already have a pilot reform program involving 100 billion RMB. Yesterday, we have approved to add an additional 60 billion RMB worth of insurance support, and this will bring more liquidity to the markets and further empower institutional investors. Number three, the merger and acquisition financing pilot for Sci-Tech enterprises, and we made it possible for investors to acquire for as much as 80% of the equities of Sci-Tech enterprises, and we support Sci-Tech enterprises and enterprises on the industrial chain to deepen industrial integration and to smooth the industrial and production chain. Last but not least, we are going to deepen financial reforms. Working together with the State Intellectual Property Office, we are going to introduce more pilot programs and evaluate and handle a number of key issues so that intellectual property can be guaranteed with even greater support to industrial commercialization. Going forward, the NFRA will follow through the requirement of the 2 sessions, and we will be working towards the goal of accomplishing the socio-economic targets for the year. Thank you very much to Minister Li. Dear friends from the media, this is the end of this morning's corridor. On March the 8th, we will host another Minister's Corridor.